Hit record. Does anybody want to volunteer to take notes?
Okay.
I could do it. I could do it too. But if you volunteer,
All right.
I-
I'll take notes.
awesome. I don't want to take. I don't want to take the fun away from you. That's all. All right. Let's kick it off with status updates. Status updates. I mean, for me, I know I've been heads down on proxy support within PAC. I know that was one of the things Dan, at least told me personally that he wanted to see get done. So, it's been a little bit of a learning experience for me, to be honest, but I think I've been working with Harbor enough recently to have stronger opinions about how it should look. So maybe a replacement PR is going to be coming from me pretty soon. Anybody else?
No update for me. I'm just here as a fly on the wall.
It's completely fine, completely welcome. Big T, you got something for us?
Uh, is my mic working? Can you hear me? Now? Yes. Cool. I just saw that the product descriptor spec PR that I was working on a while back, Joe merged it in while I was out on PTO last week. Do I need to create like an issue and pack for that work? Or do you usually wait for the spec release?
I would think that the issue was created when the RFC was merged. There should be an issue on pack already, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I might have actually created that issue, but yeah, David created the issue, I guess, on April 4th.
Awesome. Does that need to be labeled with a milestone or a, I don't know, somehow prioritized?
I'm unsure. I'm fairly new to the platform sub team and how they work on stuff.
Let's label it so it doesn't get lost. I would assume it should go into the next one, given that it's an implementation of the next API, right?
There's a pack release for June 30th. Would it go in that or will we bump into the next one? Because that's not super far away, like a week from now.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure if that June 30th was for feature freeze or if it was for actually cutting the release.
I believe it was for cutting the release, and should be feature freezing, like right now. That's my recollection.
So I would think that the project descriptor changes should go to the following one.
Yeah. When do you, Anthony, do you know when you usually create new milestones? Is that a thing AC David handles?
Sorry, no, I'm not going to be the person who can answer that, unfortunately.
If we're talking about the next pack release, I just had a comment. There's a Slack thread right now in Pack CLI about report TOML, which is like what will contain the build bomb and is not actually included in the exported image. So there needs to be some way of like getting it out of the build container for it to like even be meaningful, right? And it seems to me if our goal for the next pack release is to fully support platform 05 and 06, like we should do something about report TOML, because right now it's like it might as well not exist for pack users. I'm not sure if that's worth delaying, adjusting the release cadence, but it does seem like something that's missing for those APIs to be fully supported.
Yeah, I'm unsure if the next pack release is committing to fully supporting 0.5 and 0.6 because they haven't in the kind of, I mean, 0.5 came out in December, October, right? Sometime that time frame last year.
I just know that a PR has been merged for supporting platform 05 and 06. So if we were planning on, making some sort of announcement that, with this release, we are now supporting these platforms, this would be the report TOML stuff, I think would be a nice to have because it is something that people want, or at least one person at the very least wants,
Right.
and probably more.
There is an open issue for fully support platform 0.5, 0.6 that was opened by Dan.
Yeah, and I think the PR also came from him. Fully
Right.
support, wait, where was that? I was just looking at it. Anthony, you know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with it. I think he just failed to link the PR here, right? But it's been done for a while and it has been merged. I'm a bit curious about this report TOML thing, about why Lifecycle is getting it deleted. Like if it's, if this file is supposed to be, supported in this version, like why is it not making it into the final app image?
It was a design decision, right?
Yeah.
There's actually like, as we speak, there are people going back and forth in Slack. I think Steven is of the opinion that putting it in the image affects reproducibility and there should be, an alternate way
Gotcha.
of getting it out. You could make an argument for either way, but the way that it was in the RFC and the way that it's specified in the platform spec is that this report TOML doesn't get exported. Therefore, it should be up to the platform to handle it, right? And right now, Pack doesn't do anything with it. So, you could argue that it's not supported.
Okay, I mean, I see. I mean, I did some nuance in there, right? Are the platforms supported? Maybe. Is this report TOML thing supported? Definitely not, right? But
Yeah.
maybe it's worth an explicit issue for sure.
I don't care, like very strongly one way or the other, but I do think that if we're planning in the next pack release to be like, ta-da, pack version, whatever, fully support platform 05 and 06, like there's a little asterisk there that's like, but not this feature, and that to me feels like not satisfying. So I just think we should decide, maybe we don't make that announcement until the next release and we put report TOML in for the next one. That seems fine to me.
No, it completely makes sense. How do we capture this, right? The powers that be that cut these releases and make these decisions aren't in here. So maybe action item, I guess for me, is to put it on the PR or something, right?
Yeah,
Alright,
so
Where
is
it
it
since
worth
I'm
make
the
capturing
note
that in that?
taker.
Is it worth capturing that in the GitHub issue that says fully support platform 0.5.6? And maybe having a discussion there.
yeah, we can maybe try to make it relevant, right? This stuff was done for a while, so I guess I'm worried that they won't see it, but it makes sense.
I just added an at Javier. He can weigh in as well.
Yeah, the PR is slated for milestone 0.20, but the issue is not. I did link the PR to the issue just now. You said there was discussion in Slack. Was there a thing on GitHub about it, or was it just a conversation in Slack?
No, it's just in Slack. I'll put the link in the notes. I'll just say idea target for next after June. Don't announce full support for the latest one. Something like that.
Okay. I think that's a good call out. Maybe we could just put in the issue too, or I'd like to do that, or somebody could do it.
Yeah, I'm also just trying to find where it is in the Pax CLI room.
Where the code is, or where the sorry?
Discussion.
Oh, I can link it to you if you want.
Is this from Forest?
Yeah, this is from Forest. Are we good on this?
Yeah, I think so.
Next thing is release planning. I don't know if we have much else to say. From what I gather, releases 30th, like we said. We're supposedly in a freeze. I think stuff is going in there. Is definitely this API bump. Maybe not really much else. Not too many big things this round. Hopefully next time. Any other comments? Anybody who knows a little bit more?
Don't know anymore myself.
Okay, sounds good. So I clicked the needs discussion section. I don't see anything in there. Just to highlight, I did make a whole bunch of issues related to the Interact RFC. So, if somebody wants to triage them, be appreciated. I'm going to move on to the RFC section. Share my screen. Okay. There's this visual mode one, which, is in limbo. I really don't know. Like I said, I made a bunch of issues for it. I know it's in final comment period, but I really don't know what the procedure is here, like how long it takes.
Usually it's a week.
Yeah.
Has it been over a week?
So I don't know. Maybe it's up to someone to get on that. It's been labeled 15 days ago, but that's just all for this one.
Who is assigned for this?
Javier.
Yeah, I would just probably bug Javier when he is back around. But he should be the one who merges this in for the sub team. But if not, I can do it as well.
Okay, sounds good. Really no pressure from my
you
side.
have to do here.
Okay.
For if that's what you're looking for.
Trust me, not at all. I'm just highlighting. Pack cash options is also in final comment period. May 12th. Ooh, interesting. Goodness. Anybody have context on this one?
This was, I feel like when I first started joining these meetings, we talked about this RFC. I don't have more context. I think it's in the same boat where Javier may not be used to merging these things in, or maybe he doesn't have permissions or something. I can double check with him as an action item to see if he just can't do it, and I can do it if he can't. But it sounds like nothing has changed since like sometime in May, so.
No, it's all good.
I feel like
we have a
ROC that is always here.
She's always there, and maybe it's not worth talking about because it's still a draft. But I just did want to highlight a comment I had made in a previous session where I said mix-ins were a very slippery concept to understand in sort of the Buildpacks ecosystem, just the regular mix-ins as they are. And I want to bring it up again because Stephen had a pretty good RFC about removing the concept of mix-ins among other things. So I don't know, application mix-ins. That's all I have. That's all I have for that. Okay, we have no agenda items. But is there something someone wanted to ask? What reason you came to this meeting today?
Well, I added some to the agenda, to the future topics, which I guess we could pull down for the agenda.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Good question. Okay.
There's I mean, I was kind of hoping, sorry, go ahead.
Can we not talk about highest priority items right now? I really sort of just don't think we have the correct people in the room. I'm interested in this, but I don't think we have the right people in the room to answer this.
Yeah, that's fine. The second one for sure. For the first one, I mean, just Terrence, since you're here, I just wanted to surface this, to I guess the widest audience. because we're getting activity on the life cycle as well. Basically, what it is that HashiCorp Waypoint uses Pack, right, for some language families, and Mac M1 users are not able to do Waypoint up because what happens is Pack sees that it's running on an ARM architecture, and when the builder's untrusted, it tries to pull a lifecycle image essentially matching that architecture, or it's the manifest list that it's seeking is for ARM. And obviously we don't have a lifecycle compiled for ARM yet, and I think a short-term solution has just been proposed that Pack can see it's trying to build an AMD image. It could just try to pull a lifecycle image matching that architecture, right? And that seems like a relatively small change that would then, unblock a certain group of people from, who are currently not able to use Buildpacks, right? So I'm just advocating that it be a little bit, higher priority. I think Javier has said that he would welcome a PR for that, but I don't know who is actively working on it. I don't think anybody is, and I think it's important. So
do we support architectures besides Linux x86 64 that isn't Windows?
No.
Like, should the check just be if you're on Windows, you get Windows, and then anything else we assume is x86 64, or do we want to hard code Mac specifically?
That seems like it could work until the lifecycle itself supports ARM. I feel like that, would be just fine. I'll just note that as a possible way forward. Maybe I can put that on the issue.
Because the only reason we have, I guess, any type of architecture support is to support Windows, right? I assume.
I think it's the way that we are pulling the image. I'd have to go look, but I believe it's like the image fetcher, is looking at the architecture that Pack itself is running on and like putting that in the request. I haven't seen the code in a while, so I'm not exactly sure where it's coming from. But
I see what Javier says. He says we should match the builder image's OS architecture.
Yeah.
Instead of the host machine.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. And so your question is, what is the priority of this, like, to me specifically?
I'm of the opinion that it should be a higher priority, but so I'm advocating that it be a priority. I don't know what the priority is at the moment. Maybe we don't have the people, as you said, Anthony, to really answer that question, but well.
It's a good call out, for sure. Sorry, I'm just peeking at this Brian fellow, seeing how badly, trying to gauge how badly he wants it, right?
So it hasn't just been Brian, right? It's been like on the life cycle side, we have this issue that's like support ARM, right?
Yeah.
It's a blanket issue that captures a lot of wants and needs. And we've had at least 3 people, I think 3, maybe it's just, I can check, but like numerous people be like, I cannot use Waypoint because you don't support ARM. And then I respond to each one, oh, actually, like you could build images on your Mac M1, like, today, if only this Pack issue, right? Or the alternative, right, is that, within Waypoint, they configure the builder to be trusted. So that's something that I've asked on HashiCorp's like forum, well, if that's a change they can make, because that would also like instantly solve this problem.
Yeah. I mean, the proposal Javier had makes a lot of sense on our side. Like, why are we pulling a lifecycle image that isn't compatible with the builder you're trying to build against?
Yeah.
Like that seems, regardless of what HashiCorp does, that seems like a bug.
Yeah.
ARM support, do people actually want ARM lifecycle to run against, like, do we have ARM builder images that we're building in Docker? Like,
No.
I don't know if we actually, like, I feel like Emily's thing that she opened in October has nothing to do with M1 Max, right? It's about just supporting ARM generically. I imagine the people that are running to issues aren't actually looking for this exact thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're not deploying to ARM, most likely.
Yeah, that I agree with. I think that the only reason I'm bringing up that issue is like that is where people land when they're trying to complain about that problem. Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe there's a way like on the lifecycle side, we just throw it into the next milestone. And then if somebody doesn't agree, they can kick it out. I don't know if there's a way to like bump this one so that someone will look at it,
By lifecycle, do you mean pack and platform?
Oh, I guess I'm asking what mechanism the platform team has to designate certain issues as higher priority in GitHub.
Honestly, from my time here as a contributor, I haven't seen any sort of thing like that. If it's in a milestone, it's usually ripe for picking, word of mouth.
Yeah, I guess in all the sub-team sync meetings I've been in, I haven't actually seen milestones created. So that's kind of why I asked the question, I think, at the beginning of the meeting.
Yeah, I haven't seen it be created as well. I've just seen it, right?
But it magically appears.
Yeah.
I'm at mentioning Javier again.
Real popular guy.
Yeah.
No, I think this could fall out, Natalie. I think if it's a thing that is affecting people from using M1 Max because there is a mismatch, we probably should try to prioritize getting it in. Are you saying you want this in like the 0.20 release, or are you okay pushing this out?
Oh, I'm not, saying it should go into the next one, right? The one we're going to cut next week. I just think, right now its status is like help wanted, like it's just going into the basket of issues of which there are dozens and dozens of them. And I want it to be, elevated a little bit. That's all.
Yeah. Do you know if Javier is out?
I don't know. He's in. He's actually talking in Slack as we speak. So I don't know. Maybe he forgot what I was asking. No, he's offline again. I don't know.
Okay. Because I was gonna say we could bring this up again in leadership. I think it's worth kind of closing the loop on, I think, this discussion that's come up a handful of times.
Sure.
And I don't know, maybe he'll show up to that meeting, but maybe he's out today. I don't know. Cool.
I guess if
item,
we're
right?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying you had another agenda item.
Oh yeah, so this is, again, I'm not sure, I wish David or Javier were here as they're the most familiar, but Anthony knows about this problem. I have been trying to update the live cycles GitHub Actions, and I'm using Pack as a model, right? So I have something that very closely resembles what Pack currently has as the action to cut a draft release. And what I'm seeing is that even though, I'm running this action on a branch that is the release branch, when the release gets cut, it's actually tagging the latest commit on main. And I think that I haven't dug in, too deeply, because it turns out that the action that we're using is like, it's not getting updated very frequently, and it might, may be in like questionable supported status. I might just migrate over to using something else. But I don't know if there's a problem. I'm very open to the possibility that I'm just doing something wrong. But I remembered that Pack has an action that automatically merges commits to release branches back into main, which is why you might not be seeing this problem, right? Like it might not have like been obvious, right? If you know that you're actually just tagging main instead of what's on the release branch, because those commits might be like equivalent, right? But there could be a problem. I don't know enough at this point to say that there definitely is, but I also don't know what could, what what I'm doing differently than Pack, and I'm seeing this issue on the lifecycle side. So that's all.
Gotcha. Is this related to? I saw you doing some work on some of the GitHub Actions stuff in Slack.
Yeah,
I
I
think,
tried
like the
services in
outdated,
Slack.
the like outdated kind of actions release stuff.
Yeah. There's been like many. I don't know. I feel like I've been kind of sharing stuff as I learn it without a lot of clarity in what's going on. But yeah, I'm doing stuff in GitHub Actions, and I'm uncovering questions that I'm not able to answer, and I'm have a growing suspicion that we're doing something wrong in Pack, but I don't know how to prove it.
Is Javier the one who did most of that stuff?
It was Javier and David. So I'll continue to update that thread. David, I think, responded to one of them. And I might prod a little further if I'm not able to get, a clear answer, maybe for David and Javier to look at it, just because you could see a situation where, we tagged a commit we didn't intend to, right? On the lifecycle side, it really matters because we don't automatically merge our release branch commits back into main, so they diverge. And that's how I found the problem. Like, wow, this is not the commit I intended, right?
Right.
But again, it could just be that I'm doing something wrong. So maybe it's premature to bring it up. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have anything helpful to add since I had not looked or kind of worked on any of those things.
Yeah.
Are all those under the GitHub Actions repo? That's like what everyone's using. These seem like for actual users of Buildpacks though, right?
Which ones?
There's a GitHub Actions repo, but I think it's all for like registry and other stuff.
Oh yeah, no, the soft
This is stuff that's
props.
just in our own repos themselves.
Well, at this point, I can see that it's like a third-party GitHub action, right? Like that we're invoking from one of our workflow definitions. And like I'm suspecting it's that because what I did, this is I don't know how relevant this is, but like I'm switching over to using the GH CLI, right? Because that comes pre-installed on the GitHub Actions runners, and it's like they have a flag that's the target branch to tag, and it says default main branch, right? So I have this suspicion that, the soft props, like this third-party GitHub action that we're using, also defaults to the main branch, and we're just not setting it. We're not like, and I'm trying to dig into their docs to see if they offer that as a toggle, but I'll try to find more info, but yes, these 2 months, they said support custom target commitish value, determines where the git tag is created from, can be any branch or commit SHA. So that's an option that they added 2 months ago. Before, I'd have to look at the code, but I would suspect that it would just default to main, right? And I don't think we specify that in our, at least in Pack's action definition. Therefore, we're just always tagging the latest commit on main as the thing we release. That would be my guess based on what I know so far. And that's, again, because Pack is automatically merging stuff from the release branch back to main. Like they should be equivalent, right? But it's not what we're intending to do, I don't think. I think we're intending to actually tag the latest commit on the release branch. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe so. That's, David and Javier would probably know what was the intention.
Right. Yeah. Sorry. I just feel like you came here and just need to talk to Javier and David, or not here, and you're stuck with Anthony and I.
That's fine. I'll ping them in other channels. At least we have it written down. Should we adjourn?
Yep. Unless someone else has something else.
That's all.
That's all we got. Thanks everybody.
Thanks for running this, Anthony.